Hello, welcome back to Spill the Bubble Tea. This is Anna-Marie and Andrea Gentili. Welcome back to the After Dark episode where we discuss everything about... What did we discuss?
The judge
hates me. In the main episode, if you haven't listened to that, go to any of the podcast platform and go listen to it. Search Spill the Bubble Tea and then come back to it. Alright? Cheers!
It was riveting. It was a riveting conversation.
It was.
I'm really embarrassed to tell you what I'm drinking right now.
I don't want to talk about that. I'm not looking at it.
No, it's because it's so late. I mean, so late. It's 9 p.m. for me, but it's like, I'm trying to get myself on Canada time, and so I need to go to bed, like, pretty soon. Although, no, it's like afternoon. It's afternoon in Canada. But anyway, I'm drinking water out of my bubble tea cup.
Embarrassing.
Because I need to hydrate. I know, embarrassing, but I didn't want to have anything with caffeine because I need to get a lot of sleep. I've been so stressed out that I'm just like not sleeping very much.
Fair enough.
Ow, and I just poked myself in the eye. Yeah. What are you drinking?
This is a black
Plain tea.
This is a black tea, but with white pearls. However, I bought this yesterday and it's been sitting in the fridge, so all the pearls are hardened. So it's terrible.
Oh. Why are the pearls white? Are they made out of something different?
I don't know. I think still tapioca.
They taste the same.
Maybe they put some of those those jelly, like made of like seaweed or something. But anyway, that's why I don't like bubbles.
Okay. That's okay. I'm really into jelly. Now that you mention it, you know, I always like lychee jelly or mango jelly.
Processed food.
It's like a childhood, there's a almond jello
Yum.
when I was a kid.
Yes, we have it.
Ega.
We have it in Taiwan, the almond jello. It's so good.
Yeah. What do you call it? Because growing up, my mom called it ega. But
no.
She had a lot of weird names for things.
It's just called almond jello.
She call our butts pigu.
Pigu.
Almond jello.
Almond jello, but it's like...
pigu is butt?
杏仁冻.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my mom is Shanghainese.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not exactly...
The same.
It's not the same.
They have their own dialect.
But there's some crossover.
Yeah, pigu is Mandarin.
Pigu.
Yeah.
Pigu is Mandarin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that always confused me because there's like some things that are the same and other things are just like completely. You're
different,
like, what's ega?
Yeah. Anyway.
Also, she did grow up very white. Okay, tangent.
Yes, attention. So we talked about that, and you recently just judged a competition in New Zealand. Tell us, did you hate anyone?
I was in Christchurch. No, you know what? I hated how hard it was to give out the awards because basically there were 20 people in one division. So the whole competition was a semi-pro. It was called Rising Legends. So there are 20 people. They're all in the same division, and we give out first and second place. But then they have, you know how there's different categories. So you give out a score for strength, a score for flexibility, a score for tricks, a score for showmanship. And so we're supposed to give out 4 more awards for whoever scored the highest in each of those categories. Mm-hmm. But then the tricky thing is usually if somebody's going to win first and second place, they've scored high in at least some or maybe all of those categories. Yeah. So we had to kind of go through and figure out who's going to get which award, and we're going to adjust the scores to reflect what we want. And the funny thing is, so I don't know if you know the other 2 judges. So Ellie Mae, she's one of the pole physios. Mm-hmm. And then there's another girl, Rochelle. She's like an OG old school poler. And both of them had made reference throughout the night about being autistic. And so we're in the judge's deliberation room, and I'm laughing to myself because I'm like, you got 3 autistic judges with a spreadsheet just trying to figure out how to rejig all of these awards. And then there were also 2 additional awards that were not based on scores at all. So one was costume concept, and the other was the sexy award. And the organizers specifically put Rochelle in charge of the sexy award, and they said, like, you're going to be the final authority on this award because she is like a 20-year, like a 2-decade-long career stripper. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool to like have somebody on the judging panel who could really say with authority, this is my perspective on what it's actually like dancing in a club after decades of experience, rather than, because we were sharing an Airbnb together, so we chatted for hours after the comp and then the next day, and she kind of talked about the difference between pole dancers' version of stripper style and what you actually see in a club stripper style. But then she said over the years, what you actually see in the club is starting to morph and change because you now not only have people stripping, but you have people who start pole dancing and then become strippers. So they're bringing that idea of pole dancer stripper style into the club, which now it's like meshing with like stripper style, pole dance stripper style. And I just thought it was really cool to chat about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of, did I hate any of the performers? No. The reason the judging was so hard was because there were a few performers that each of us just absolutely fell in love with. And so, for example, there was one girl who did Pennywise, and I swear, since the Sarsgaard movie came out, everyone and their dog is doing it. But this girl, she had moments where the 3 of us judges were like, whoa, like just like making noises in our seat because she was surprised us. At one point, I just fully put my pen down because I just wanted to be entertained. Yeah. And she had a partner. She had this giant man who was like playing the little boy, which was funny. But they did all this partner. They did all these partner acro things, and they did like some fighting. And then there was another girl, the girl who won, so Pennywise came second. The girl who won did a Scooby-Doo thing, and she was being chased by a ghost. So she was Daphne being chased by a ghost. And then same thing, she had fight scenes, but her fight scenes were ridiculous. And, you know, they even announced in my bio that I have a background in stage combat. And I almost never write like, wow, you're a good actor. Yeah. But I think twice that night, I literally wrote, wow, you're a good actor. Or I was like, pick up the pace because you're a really good actor, so we get it. Yeah. So you don't have to go slow. You can go fast because you're killing these beats. But there was one girl I fell in love with because we gave her the costume concept award because she came out dressed like a giant teddy bear. Oh. Like full onesie with like little ears and stuff and like her little nose. And it starts off like this cute little teddy bear show, and then all of a sudden she realizes she's got like a bit of yarn. And so she pulls it, and then her arm falls off. So she pulls another bit of yarn, and then her leg comes off. But the thing is, she was like doing her pole sequences with a nearly full onesie on, and she had some of the cleanest technique out of all the competitors. Like, you could see through the fuzzy onesie, straightest legs. And at no point did she fully take off the onesie. So I think she took off an arm, she took off a leg, and then she maybe took off like half the other leg. And then in the end, she comes to the front of the audience and she starts tearing all the stuffing out of her belly.
I love that.
And then she starts dying and then she just collapses and she dies.
I love it. That sounds like a competition with a lot of innovative performances.
Really, really innovative. Yeah. And it was just like, it was so hard to judge because there were, basically when I went into the judges' room, there was a lot of chit-chat and stuff like that, but I was just like, here's my list of people that I want to give awards to.
But you just went with the scores.
Which, well, we looked at my list, and then had a bit of conversation to be like, hey, do you agree with this list? Or maybe we should switch this award with that award. And then we looked at the scores to be like, how closely aligned were we with the actual numbers versus what we remember in our head as wanting to give awards to. And we only made a couple of adjustments, just a couple of tiny adjustments, like change a point here, change a point there, so that it aligned with what we intended.
Yeah. So yeah, people don't really see that. People don't understand that part of judging. They'll be like, oh, like you guys changed score, so you basically like they think we are changing score to favor someone. No, that's not how it works. Like sometimes when you judge at the moment, you don't remember what other score you gave the other one. So that's why we go back and forth. But like you said, there are 20 people in one category. There's no time to go through all that. So we will write down the list, like, you know, what we remember of this performer, and then later on we have time, we go back and then check the scores and make sure this is aligned with how we like this performance. So yes, that is definitely not like it's not a test, not an exam that you put down your answer and then you can't change it. It's completely different to that.
Yeah, and I think, like, obviously I made a joke about 3 autistic judges go into a deliberation room, but because we're always talking about how it is a bit of a superpower, one of my things is math. Like, one of the things that I'm good at is math. And so even though there's 20 competitors, I'm going back and forth and cross-referencing as we go along, so that by the time we deliberate, I already know that my scores are very close to what I intend them to be. Whereas, like, you know, they put out calculators for everyone, and I think one of the other judges,
calculator,
she didn't tally her scores at all.
Don't I have like Excel?
They do in the end, but I think the thing is, and they said to us, would you prefer pen and paper, or do you want to, like, digital? Because they're like, if you want to bring a laptop or something, you can. But for me, I prefer handwriting, because first of all, I type loud. I type loud and fast. It's very, like, Steve doesn't even want to watch TV next to me when I'm on my computer because it's just loud.
I love it. I love that.
So I would rather pen and paper. You like the sound of it, like,
yeah, I have ADHD. I need noises.
Oh, my nephew Kylan, he was for a while obsessed with making
ASMR,
thocky and clacky keyboard sounds. Yeah. And he was actually, like, looking up YouTube videos to, like, deconstruct his keyboard to put different things under his keypads to make them make different sounds. But anyway, side note. But yeah, each judge has such a different way, because one of the other judges, she wasn't even tallying her scores. She was just filling out, like, what's your strength, tricks, flexibility, showmanship. She was just putting numbers in those boxes, and then when we were deliberating, she was there with her calculator, like, oh, let me tally.
Ah, okay.
But then the organizers were there with the spreadsheet, like, give us your sheets. So I gave them my sheets first, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure mine are close, and then if I need to adjust after, I will. But we took forever.
Really?
We took forever in there. Yeah, and I think they had someone standing guard outside the door, because all the competitors were just waiting in the hallway right outside the door.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it happens, like, you know, they give you like 15 minutes, sometimes that's just not enough. But, and then there will be sometimes that, you know, instantly you don't even need to, like, deliberate. Just, that's it, done. You know, sometimes it's that clear, sometimes it's not. Yes.
Yeah. For me, this show was really exciting because there was so much variety. So it was really like comparing apples and oranges, which as a judge makes it friggin' impossible. But as an audience member is, like, so exciting to see. Just like, you know, here's a dramatic performance. Here's a sexy heels performance.
Yeah.
Here's a very theatrical, cinematic performance. Here's just something way out of left field.
Yeah.
And it was really like, I don't know, how do you compare your tricks? I mean, flexibility and strength, you can see really simply, they have it or they don't. You know, tricks execution is easy to judge. I think trick difficulty is easy to judge. But yeah, when it comes to like who do you want to give awards to, sometimes you're like, oh, where can I give them extra like showmanship points?
Yeah.
Or execution points.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But you said you have more comments from your Judge Hates Me post that we didn't get to talk about.
Let me grab my iPad.
Do you want to go through them?
Because
Get
it's
the
right here.
iPad.
Let's see. I mean, there's only a few extra more that I think like deserve to be talked about. Not like deserve, but just you know what I mean.
The other ones are unworthy.
Yeah, just like like just very common. That Okay, let's see. Which one we didn't talk about? Oh, I don't know if we talked about this one. So one of the instructor in Melbourne, she once got a comment saying you are more successful in the flip than last time.
Oh.
That's something I'm just like, like when some competitor, they will enter multiple competition with the same routine. Okay? And sometimes the competition is literally back to back. Like us, like we used to do that. Like every month we have a competition. So sometimes
I
we
love
just
repeating
repeat
shows.
Exactly. So sometimes we will repeat your show. Yeah? But then if you happen to be judged by the same judge, like it's really hard it's not hard, but it just depends on the judge's professionalism, I guess. Like for me, I think when I go into a competition, no matter who is on the stage, if I've seen them last month, last year, whatever, they're brand new to me. I'm judging you for this night. So I don't know why there'll be judges like compare your performance to the past that they have seen you. It's like, that is stupid,
I was having this conversation with one of the other judges because we were just talking about how hard the Christchurch comp was to judge. And one of the things that I brought up is like, because my background is in theater, and there's not just in theater, but in general, it's so difficult these days to get people to go to live performances. And so when it comes to theater reviewers will sometimes talk about what is not their moral obligation, but what is their obligation to the community when they write a theater review. Because they can't just go see a show, and if they hate the show, they write in the review, they hate the show, it's garbage, don't go see it.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, that doesn't benefit the theater community. And so what some reviewers have talked about in the past is what actually is the goal of a theater review. And so they say that it's like they'll look at what are these theater artists intending to create, and then what did they actually create on stage, and then how closely aligned are those two things. So what did they intend and what did they actually execute? And then sometimes they go on to say that they will consider like the whole trajectory of that particular artist's career, because when it comes to art, sometimes you have to look at like how does this piece fit in with the whole overarching career of what they've been trying to communicate. And so when I was chatting to the other judge in New Zealand, what I was saying is the thing that's so hard about theater, and because she's a real circus-y type person, and I find circus people have a really high value in art and creativity, much more so than like fitness and sport competition. And she was saying it's so hard. She was struggling with the execution category because she was like, no, I saw what they were trying to do, but it was through talking to me that I would say, like, say, for example, someone tried to do a Chinese phoenix and she missed it and then ended up just handspringing, which is fine. So I docked her some execution points, whereas this other judge was like, oh, I didn't know, like I could tell she messed something up, but I wasn't sure the appropriate category to take it out of. And I said, execution is the category you take it out of. But then it became a conversation because she also had a background in, I think, gymnastics or something like that. And I know from figure skating, not because I figure skated, but because I used to love watching figure skating at the Olympics. It used to be, when I was a kid, when I would watch, if somebody fell in competition, they would not win anything. There's no chance. But more recently, they've changed the point structure so that if you attempt a really difficult move, you have a higher potential for points. And then if you don't execute it, you'll get a lower amount of points for execution, but you still get a high amount of points for the attempt. So you have a higher potential of getting points. And I was like, so for example, in this competition, like the girl who tried to do a Chinese Phoenix, and she also tried to do a Mooney. And I think these are two very high level
What's a Mooney?
dynamic and flexibility tricks. Mooney is that one where you're like,
From
pull the
Brass
pole
Monkey?
into your waist and then you hold on to the pole under you. From inside leg hook. Like
yes, I know that
yeah,
one.
Ki Hong does it all the time.
I done it in like 2017. It didn't have a name back then. That one is not hard though.
Back then I was like,
that one is super easy.
It's really trendy right now, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not super easy. It depends on your shoulder.
Because you can.
And it also depends on your side grip.
I do it with bent arm. I don't do it that way because it just, it doesn't work with me. So I do it this way. So I just have the arch and also turn into a split instead of just that one. But anyway.
Yeah,
it is hard.
I do this. I do a split and a straddle. Yeah, but also the balance point. But anyway, so this competitor, she attempted these two higher level difficulty moves, but so I gave her some extra points for tricks because it was very obvious that on another day she'd be able to execute them no problem. But on this day she was not able to execute them. So she had a little bit higher points for difficulty but much lower points for execution.
That's how you.
Whereas there was another girl. There was another girl. She did a jade split and an Allegra. So she scored very low for like difficulty, but flexibility, super high score. I think she won the flexibility award, but she won the flexibility award with jade split and Jalegra because her body, it was just so clear. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she chose her tricks wisely, whereas some of the other competitors, they chose tricks that revealed their inflexibility.
Yeah. That's the thing. But yes, it's definitely, I think it's I'm happy to hear that you actually judge similar way to I do, because some judges will be like, oh, they attempted a higher difficulty tricks, but then the execution is shit, so they both get really low points. That happens when you can clearly tell that person cannot do that tricks. Like, it's definitely out of your range, but you still try to do it. Then your difficulty, even though that's a fungi, but if you're like shoulder mount is not even there and you're trying to do that, you definitely will not get the high difficulty and also execution. So it really depends. It's case by case.
Yeah, it totally depends, because it's like, in that instance, it's very clear that some of the people who slipped on that night is because they were nervous, because they were a little bit slippery, but it's not because they were incapable of the move. Because there was another performer who also, I can't remember what trick she attempted, but it was high level difficulty, and she struggled to get her hand on. Or she might have done a Mooney and it took her forever to get her hand on. But there were a couple of things like that where I'm like, oh, I can see that you're capable of that trick. You're just not hitting it tonight. Whereas there's other people where it's kind of like, that was not the best choice of trick. You should have replaced that with something that complements your body more. Exactly.
But also, like, in saying that, when someone is attempting to do something in a higher level, but also like if the execution is low or whatever, like, it doesn't mean that person's gonna get the full point in the execution. Like, if it's still not looking good, you are not gonna get as much as someone who chose high difficulty tricks and the execution is perfect. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you won't
100%.
have someone who is like trying to do something hard, but not executing well, and then their difficulty is still higher than someone who can do both really well.
Yeah, because also in terms of like the overall show feel, putting on a good show, like you want to make the audience comfortable, you want to make the audience like wow and impressed or excited or whatever. And so if you just show yourself struggling, or like if you make the audience uncomfortable because we're not sure you know what you're doing, then it doesn't even matter what your show is because the audience is spending the whole time just a bit like,
I know.
Like cringing a little bit.
Please do not make the audience or the judges worry for you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I think of it like you're like a host.
Exactly.
You want to make everyone comfortable at your party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, did you have any other comments? I went on a
no,
wild
because
tangent.
most of the ones that we already discussed last time. And I think that one was the one I wanted to talk about because no one really talked about that before. So that was the one I want to talk about. Also, it's more than 20 minutes. That's all you get from the After Dark episode. Because if you want to listen to our full episode, which is more than 14 minutes long, then you're going to go on the podcast, girl. Like, get onto it.
Go on the podcast, girl. Smashed a bunch of my water. Thanks for joining me in bed tonight.
Yes.
The coziest After Dark episode. Yes.
Well,
yes. Stay tuned for our August episode. I've already edited it. I've already scheduled it. It's a life-changing episode. I'm really excited for it.
Yes, me too.
It changed my life again when I was editing it.
Wow. I don't even know what we talked about it, but I'm very excited about it.
We talked about negotiation.
Négociation! Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so make sure you tune in August 1st, the 1st and the 15th of every month. That's us.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.